Staying indoors. I'm washing these hands before you get these hands. For WrestleZone.com, this is WrestleZone daily or nightly, depending on how it reaches you. I want you to have fun while we talk about wrestling!
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's Kevin Kellam back with you once again from the NBC Tower. Hopefully, we're streaming right now. Be Live being a real bee this week, our streaming provider. But we're with you. I'm Kevin Kellam, joining as always my friend in a state that is going to have a stay-at-home order real soon, or at least an area that will. Mr. Robert DeFelice. Robert, it's a Wednesday night. AEW, WWE NXT. WrestleMania is in a few weeks. Over 2 nights. It's too big for one night. It's too big.
That's what they're telling me, Kev.
What, buddy?
They're telling me it's too big for one night.
They are saying it over and over again.
And you know, Kevin, if it's advertised, it's legitimate. You work in radio. You understand that. If it's on the billboard, Kev, that means it's true.
Official. It's official. If you say it, it is that. A lot of familiar names popping up in here. Love those faithful viewers. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. Love seeing those familiar names here. If you're with us, don't forget to share that link. We got a lot of news to get into today about WrestleMania and how the stay-at-home order in a part of Florida could affect them taping the show. They couldn't even run the show in a stadium this year. They were forced to move it to the Performance Center with no fans. Now that may be even in some challenging situations. We'll get into that as soon as we can, but a lot to come off of tonight's edition of AEW and WWE NXT, both of them with no fans, both of them going down in Florida, not too far away from each other. Florida, so much in the panhandle going on here, Robert.
So much going on here. And
Robert's in Tampa. Robert's in Tampa, so he knows what's going on here.
You know, there's so much going on here, not the least of which being perhaps the defiance of some orders to stay in place. You know, wrestlers don't do well with authority. I mean, all we're missing is Stone Cold Steve Austin did stun the president. Oh, wait, he did that. It's in the archives. It's on the network.
Yes, you find me another president who took a Stone Cold Stunner.
Find me one.
You find me one who can take one well, all right? One of the worst Stone Cold Stunners of all time. Pull that up, WrestleMania 23. Donnie Trump falling over like a sack of potatoes when he took that stunner. Come on now, Donnie. Sell for him. Sell, all right?
Sell, Donnie. Sell. Donnie doesn't want to sell. Donnie wants to buy.
You know, Austin wanted me to sell, but I wasn't going to give him my body. I wasn't going to give my body. I wasn't going to do it.
We're having fun. You people in the comments,
loves beer. Trump beer. It's the best beer. It's the bestest beer that's ever been a beer. It's the beeriest beer.
So let's get into it here. A lot to talk about. We will talk about the situation with Florida and WrestleMania. If you're just joining us, we do have that here. We do have Dark Side of the Ring to talk about. If you watch that, I want to know what you think here. A lot of people joining us for the first time. Get your comments on screen. We're going to try and not overload Be Live system here and read them as they come in. Ivy League saying, Vince McMahon, thank you for those wonderful words. You should have rescheduled the entire WrestleMania.
Well, Ivy Line is coming out here with some vulgarity. And you know what? I'm not going to say that I disagree with you. I do agree with you. But clearly there are some business end of things that we don't know about. Yeah. And the show had to occur as scheduled.
The WWE Network documentary about the behind-the-scenes wrangling of WrestleMania is going to be the must-see show. That's going to come out.
We're not going to get it for 20 years.
You don't think we're going to get it for 20 years?
I don't think we get it until this is long gone.
Okay. Let's get into it. Let's talk AEW first. They filmed their show at the Daily Center, part of the Jacksonville Jaguars facility, of course, owned by the Khan family, so a little bit easier for them to work around with that. Some fans have been more fond of the aesthetics of AEW with the pyro and whatnot, and them able to use that open air area. They did get pretty crazy, pretty hot match between Sammy Guevara and Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega Championship. Our very own Bill Pritchard tweeted out that a lawyer told us that you are not allowed to defend a Mexican wrestling championship outside of Mexico. So they may have broken a rule there. I heard about that, but that was
the fine upper class of WrestleZone was sent a letter by a man who claims to be a Mexican lawyer.
Claims.
And my God, they might have broken some rules here, pal, but I don't know. You know, they're rebels. They're elite. They do what they want. You know.
All right. So tell me about AEW this week. They did some wild things here. They continue to build the case here for Brody Lee, formerly known as Luke Harper, the leader of the Dark Order, who had a very tension-filled scene with two Dark Order goons while eating a steak. And everyone who knows themselves an ounce of Vince McMahon thought this was a very lightly veiled shot at one leader of the WWE.
First of all, I do like what AEW did tonight. Cody on commentary, I thought was very fun. I thought Cody and Kenny brought some real class to commentary. But this Dark Order thing, so we get a video of a A1 steak. Like this steak is a good looking steak here. And Brody Lee is eating the steak.
Ever since I've been in quarantine, all I've wanted to eat is a steak.
I want steak so bad.
It made me so hungry watching this clip. I to be fair, I saw more of NXT. I'm working for 101 WKQX. I'm kind of helping them run a lot of different things so we can do stuff remotely. And I have wrestling on in the background. So if there's something I don't know, I'm trying to cover as many bases as I can. But
the man is wearing many hats. Cover up that big old chrome dome he's got, and he's doing a damn fine job, and I commend him. But this segment was Brody Lee snapping at one of his Dark Order goons for trying to eat before he was finished eating, and then he snapped at one of them for sneezing, which is one of the Vince McMahon similarities. Just
that is a big Vince McMahon thing that I've heard over the years.
Brody Lee looks good in a suit.
He does. He's surprising. As a bearded man, anytime a bearded guy wears a suit, it always has a certain pronounced look to it. And he definitely got very methodical with his performance here. Where do you think they're going with Brody Lee as a leader of the Dark Order?
I think Tyler Treese had a good comment in one of the WrestleZone chats and said, "I'm down with the idea of the Dark Order being like symbolism for working in WWE. I don't usually like those shots, but there's something about the off the wall hyperbole that is Brody Lee playing Vince McMahon that is fun for me. And as long as he can do it and not make it obnoxious, I'm down for it."
I saw it, and it was not obnoxious. Because they've done some things like that are so on. They're like the tongue isn't even in the cheek. It's like well through it, and they don't come off as graceful. Particularly when they do stuff on being the elite. They've done some kind of goony bits that are just like, all right, this is just in spite of something, and everything's just kind of like ha ha ha. Like they do a lot of that, and some of it is, I don't want to say insulting to your intelligence, but it's definitely like, come on, you're gonna like this. This is provocative. But
we're making fun of Vince.
Yeah, and so many people like that, and that pops people, and there's those are people that are gonna subscribe to the network, but still want to complain about Vince McMahon being alive or something like that. So I've heard that before. That's something I saw on the internet today. The problem with wrestling is Vince McMahon is alive. I've heard that.
Maybe the problem with the world is that you are alive, you vicious commenter. You
I'm quoting something I saw on Twitter today because when you're at the mouth of WrestleZone, you get to see a lot.
The weird thing is that wrestling fans have this like bizarre. We don't care that there's a global pandemic going on Still, the worst thing on the planet is Vince McMahon is alive.
Mhm.
I want you to really let that sink into your brains.
The guy who gave you The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Monday Night Raw, NXT, he did that. That's his. Okay. All right. The Network, all these things, hundreds, thousands of hours of entertainment, but he sucks. You guys are living.
I won't let. I think Hunter is primarily responsible for NXT, but Vince allows it to exist.
He finances it. Okay. He finances it. Let's be frank here. All right. If you bankroll it, you make it happen. There's nothing wrong with that. He took a risk with it too. Millions of dollars have been put into that. At some point, some people would even argue that it was a financial loss. But look how much they've won in terms of developing stars. We're getting off base here. What are the other big notes coming out of AEW? Now, obviously, they've had to push back Blood and Guts. Where's that story going? We got to see a little bit of interaction indirectly with Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho tonight.
So, Blood and Guts. They played into the idea of the Elite not being a full unit. Tony Schiavone on commentary with Cody is like, hey, well, what are you going to do?
No Jim Ross tonight. No Jim Ross tonight.
No Jim Ross tonight, playing it very safe, and I commend them for that. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do, Cody? The Elite isn't that tight right now. And by the end of the night, we had Matt Hardy, who's still slotted to be the fifth man. At this point, though, I don't know how many weeks. We don't know where we stand. So how many weeks can go by before Nick Jackson, who's already claiming to be 61%, isn't 100%? But Matt Hardy did get a face-to-face with Jericho. Jericho tried to offer the drone a spot in the inner circle, and he said, you'll have all the beautiful drone Instagram models, and you'll have a mechanical cigar in your mouth all the time. And then he called them a piece of crap. And Jericho cut a promo on a drone. And then Matt Hardy appeared using magic. The man teleported from the top of the arena to the middle of the arena to the lower deck to in the ring. It was wild. We saw it happen. It's almost like it was green screen because nobody was in the arena. It's amazing. Don't know how it happened.
Like it wasn't live television.
It's almost like it wasn't live television. Almost. Maybe.
Did they ever say the show was live or no?
They did not say it was live. They did play around with it. Cody on commentary was brilliant for stuff like this. Having him get to paint the picture that he wants to paint, I think is fun. Matt Hardy is just doing the broken thing. He did the whole I'll fade away and classify myself as obsolete. Matt Hardy, Jericho told him to stop. There's no people in the arena. What are you doing? And Matt said, but there are essences everywhere.
Essences.
And he's Damascus now, by the way. He's Damascus. He's not Zenith anymore. What is
the difference?
The difference is the hair is red.
Oh, okay.
Symbolizing a viciousness, a
new line of multicolored merchandise.
That's right. A new line of multicolored merchandise. That is right. Kevin, you understand this
show. Faithful fan of the show. Say it with me. James Espanto Fernando Tagoal. Texting in saying Jake the Snake's promo was dead.
All right. So here's the thing, boys and girls. Wrestlers in the 80s used to be able to cut promos. And especially ones that are pre-taped, and you can probably shoot a couple times. Jake cuts a promo in front of a fire, and he says, Cody, why didn't you sign Lance Archer? You were supposed to change the world. Yeah. Why didn't you sign Lance Archer? It's because you guys are afraid of him. Bring your people, Cody. Bring the old man, Arn Anderson. Bring what is it? The Delilah to your Samson, or the Monica to your Bill. It's just like, wow, the Monica to your Bill. Bring her. As long as you bring a piece of paper that says Lance Archer can get you anytime he wants. Trust me. And it's very Jake the Snake Roberts, so it's good. The man has a raspy voice for many years of, habits, and it's very good. It's Jake the Snake is good.
And now Big Ben Jones from the UK texting in here saying, can't understand Jake the Snake.
You can't understand. You know what? You don't need to understand the words. You need to understand the feeling.
Yeah.
The feeling that he conveys. Yeah. All right. And Jake, yeah, he's got some mileage on him. He's taken quite a few chair shots to the head and many substances to the body. But you understand the feeling. And I understand that Jake the Snake is looking to prove, I think, that he was one of the best. I think he wants to reclaim that place on the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Herman Takar texting saying, I love Jake's promos. I do miss old school promos.
There's one thing the arena shows have gotten me to feel. Yeah. It's like I want the return to like all green screen all the time, no fan promos ever.
And I some people were critical of AJ Styles promo on Monday night. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. The one he did on Monday Night Raw on The Undertaker. And I've enjoyed hearing promos without fans wanting to chant in their own type of things. And
Exactly.
Almost like, like the way when you watch a show like The Office or Parks and Recreation, like the last 15 years of kind of like comedy on film or comedy on television has been particularly funny, or like the 4-camera sitcom is kind of done. Like a Home Improvement doesn't like work right now because, they have to pause for the studio laughter. And so like that doesn't particularly like fly now. And so there's something about this that was good that I liked. I liked the subtlety, and NXT had a bit of that tonight too. They had some solid in-ring action. I got to catch. My favorite match of the night was Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. They beat the snot out of each other. Man, does Roderick Strong lay his stuff in. He loves to slap that thigh, but really lay his knee into your face. And they whomped on each other. Riddle got the Bo Derek in the win, but Malcolm Bivens made his presence known with 2 large men who had face paint on, looked like monsters, and Bivens looking like a half a foot shorter than all of them. He's been quite the internet darling, has been in the NXT fold, I think, for the better part of a year now. A lot of people knew him in the independent circuit and around the world, but has really gained a following, and especially on Twitter. A lot of people like him. And here he is saying, we've made a statement. And they laid out Matt Riddle. His tag team partner, one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, was not present. He was in the UK with all the travel regulations. So we got a bunch of different things here. I liked it. What do you think of Bivens showing up with this new team? It's nothing groundbreaking to have the new team show up and take out the Tag Team Champions, but he's a guy that fans have wanted to see on television for quite some time.
I think Malcolm Bivens, Stokely Hathaway, if you want to call him that, is one of the most charismatic people on planet Earth. I think they, for whatever reason, really slept on this one. And I'm glad to see him get his moment. Now, I want to call them the Singh brothers, but I don't know if that's right. But they've been on the NXT house show loops. I like the deal. NXT does this gimmick very well. They did AOP very well with Paul Ellering. They did Sanity very well. They did the Viking Raiders very well. I think this is a good start, and it's a good start for managers. Salute to managers. A lost art coming back. Salute to them.
Another big note from this week's NXT, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. We're seeing all the big takeover matches that we were supposed to get WrestleMania week now spread out on television, which I think is a smart thing. You're already developing these storylines, pay them off on TV, right? It makes sense. So the issue is they're going to see all this stuff at the Performance Center. Candice LeRae qualified for her spot in the women's ladder match to determine a number 1 contender. Another big match is being built up to involves her husband. A long, drawn-out, maybe the feud of the past few years for NXT has been Gargano versus Ciampa. They've always been at odds. They send each other to the hospital. They've laid each other out after being a semi-successful tag team. Then they slide down and take each other out and then make quests and wars to capture the NXT championship in different ways through different people. But now here they are head-to-head with each other once again. And the roles are slightly reversed, with Tommaso Ciampa kind of being the hero and Gargano being the villain who's lost his mind. They went full tilt, gave each other a Death Valley driver off a platform through a table at ringside a few weeks ago. And we're not going to get this match on a takeover, but we're going to get it somewhere. Triple H put down the ruling, and we're going to get this somewhere. He's going to text them a location, and that's what we're going to get this match. What do you think of the build of this? I thought it was kind of clever. WWE having to do some different things to work around this. Looks like we're going to get an empty arena match between these two at some point.
I like it. I think it's unfair because I think of all of the feuds that deserves an audience, it's this one. But you can spin that and say of all the feuds that can make this work without an audience, it's these two.
Yeah, it is the match to watch for NXT over the next few weeks. It has such emotional gravity to it. It's been built up to a couple of times, and people really cared when Tommaso didn't get to get that championship back. That was such a big thing from coming back from the serious neck surgery and all those things. So it kind of puts them in this tight spot where they have to deliver without that emotional like everybody has that. But especially matches like this, I think Edge and Orton are going to have that on WrestleMania. Is it going to have the same palpable energy to it without a crowd? Every match does, but it's particularly these ones that have personal issues to them. I think that's a little bit more noticeable.
I would agree.
I'm looking forward to it. And so let's get into this. This is our big headlining story for the night. If you're with us, we can tell you Robert is in Tampa, Florida, Hillsborough County. Am I correct?
Hillsborough County, indeed.
And they are persona non grata in the WWE offices. They're basically the governing body that probably put WWE in this position where they had to move everything out of Tampa, Florida. Can't run Raymond James. Life isn't what it was a few weeks ago, guys. You can't go to a movie theater. Can't go to a restaurant in most big states. I'm locked in this building. I can't see my mom or my dad, all right? So the wrestling show kidnapping is minimal. But they've just put a stay-at-home order in your state, but this could impact WrestleMania, which is being taped. WWE's taping this because they felt this could happen. They're taping it today and tomorrow. And we don't know what night the matches will air. WrestleMania will air over the 4th and the 5th on the network. What do you know about this regulation, how it's going to affect possible tapings in the Orlando area at the Performance Center?
So I want to be clear and say, while I am in Hillsborough County, Orange County, which is Orlando, and it covers like the Performance Center area and the Full Sail area, has ordered a stay-at-home, and it's supposed to go into effect at midnight on Thursday, which means
will be the 26th. If you guys are listening to the podcast or watching this later on,
which means it will be like right up on, now, like in an hour from now, it's supposed to go into effect at midnight. And like, I hope they have everything taped, or they can get away with saying, hey, you know what, stay in place, everybody sleep at the Performance Center, or everybody, you are essential personnel, we need to get through this shooting. It's life is so up in the air.
It is up in the air. How challenging is that for the production team? I know that this has been done. The reason why they took it out over 2 nights and they aren't filming it, they aren't doing it live, is because they then don't have to have a full locker room. You can have less people there. Less personnel means it's safer then. Less people exposed to whatever could be carriers for the virus. People who are asymptomatic as well. And it's a kind of a scary situation for everyone involved. Some people saying they're taking too much risk. I've heard people say, is even AEW even running?
Yeah, I would probably fall into that category.
And a lot of people saying, why are you even doing a show in general? Why don't you just go into a best of and wait until this thing gets out? The problem is, WWE and AEW and even others have contracts. They have to fulfill their deals. They have to fulfill these deals. So there's some pressure to get back on the road, maybe before it's even safe to do so, which I would advise against. I think they're trying to do the best they can, all things considered, and be as safe as they can. But this is tight. So it's you're stay at home. Do you guys have the same regulations we have up here in Illinois?
So about the same. Yeah, everybody's doing the whole, you can go out for a run, you can get your groceries, and everybody's just like, okay, so I'm just going to live my life, and you can... Coronavirus? I've never heard of this Rona. Who is that?
The Roni?
I have my own feelings about it. I won't dive into it, but the stay-at-home order is in place. Whether WWE follows it, I say no. I think they get through the tapings first, and then we go from there. I think we get through the tapings, and then we go from there. Matt Pestle bringing up a good issue. Spoilers.
Yes.
Some people will be given WrestleMania spoilers.
You think those are going to get out before the show's air?
No, I don't think they'll be get. I don't think they'll get out because I think everybody who's going to be given them is going to have enough respect for their source to not get them fired because it'll be blatantly obvious who is.
It's one thing to spoil a television show every single week, but if you're somebody in WWE, anybody, production guy, writer, wrestler, I don't care, whoever you are, right? If you spoil this, someone's coming for your head.
You're fired.
This is WrestleMania, baby. You can't do that. I talked to my the most recent episode. You can check it out with my brother Brendan, my tag team partner by blood, and we do a reminiscing of classic WrestleManias and the wrestling event that formed us as children, SummerSlam 1994. We went to it, but we also talked about production tricks that WWE could do. I'm still sticking with this, Robert. I want a pirate ship at WrestleMania. There needs to be a pirate ship.
You're going hard on that pirate ship idea, and I just don't know if it's going to happen, Kev.
You don't know?
I don't know.
I
don't know. I don't know.
We're hearing a lot of different talk about how WWE is going to shake it up. We're getting a boneyard match. That's going to be something crazy. Also, we're trickling out from various different sources. I believe PWI Insider, maybe The Torch. I'm trying to keep a track of my notes here. That the John Cena Bray Wyatt match will be quote unquote cinematic. All right, it will be a cinematic match, and a lot of people are thinking, you're just going to use all this goofiness to it. You have a guy who's in movies, all right. So you have, all right. He's going to be in Fast and the Furious, and then you have a character who Bray Wyatt is more known for his pre-film promos than probably any match he's ever done. So I'm not too afraid of it. If they have some type of brawl and match that involves the Firefly Funhouse, I'm okay with it. If every match gets its own set, that's kind of cool. Like if they really want to dress it up and do something.
If they can make the whole thing completely cinematic, I would be like, you know what? It's not WrestleMania, but it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I do think they're going to try and do some big things here. I don't know if you'll get pyro. I don't think the building is big enough for them to do that.
I think AEW is having fun with pyro in an arena where nobody's there.
They're definitely enjoying pyro for sure here. The people texting in with different takes here. People saying Jay Flesciano texting in and saying 100% right, Kev. You're fired. So a lot of people with different takes here about what's going on with WrestleMania. Sean Smith saying Cena versus The Fiend should be a fun house match. They should have the match in a.
You know what? I'm down for a cinematic match. I'm down for everything that they're doing, as long as there's a complete agreement that as soon as we can have buildings with fans again, we're running WrestleMania. We're running WrestleMania for real.
It'll be WrestleMania the Revenge. WrestleMania Pirates Revenge.
They'll get away with that. They've been using WrestleMania Revenge for the tour forever. They'll do WrestleMania Revenge and a
WrestleMania Revenge show would be cool. That would be you just do rematches the whole thing.
Rematch all around.
Do it into the SummerSlam. There's no SummerSlam this year. There's just WrestleMania Revenge in Boston or something like that. I don't know. But I'm down for it. That'd be cool.
I'm down for it as well.
Hey, you want to do the 2-night thing? WrestleMania Revenge one night, do a SummerSlam the next night. Have fun with it. At this rate, that's what it's looking like. So a lot of people asking this, does this affect anything? Joe Hale saying, is WrestleMania going to be taped tonight? It is being taped currently. We don't know at what level they've taped the whole show or not, but it could be affected by the Florida County area, Hillsborough, and Orange County as well, correct?
Orange County, yeah. Orange County is the one that's going to affect it.
Which includes Winter Park, Florida, and the Orlando area, where the WWE Performance Center is. And because of that, you could have the guys having to stay at a hotel. And how long are they going to stay at a hotel?
Who knows?
Yeah. So there's a lot of dire situations here. A lot of that crew may be stuck there for weeks, by the way. They may be stuck in that situation for weeks.
They may be stuck in there for weeks, but we're doing our best.
Listen, just stay at home, wash your hands. I'll shake everyone's hand. I'm immune. I'm a president.
Vince, I understand. I'm letting you run WrestleMania because I got to shave your head. I gotta pay you back. I understand.
Listen,
You gotta do this.
Vince, what if we have the ring inside the Senate? We put the ring inside the Senate. You can put seats in there. Wonderful. It's better than Trump Plaza. Better than Trump Plaza. Yeah. So there we go. Nancy Pelosi is the ring bell or something like that. I don't know. We're getting ridiculous here. We're having a lot of fun. Of course, we're covering everything at WrestleZone.com. We got to talk about this. March Mania is getting nuts right now. There's been some heated debates on Twitter. And what is March Mania, Robert? Lay it into them.
It is the WrestleZone theme song. It's not March Madness, but it's the only one you're getting because you ain't getting that other one.
No, you're not. Sorry to all the athletes that don't get the greatest opportunity of their life.
So what do you think the best theme song in wrestling is? That's what March Mania is. You get to vote on Twitter and Facebook, and you're choosing the best theme song of all time.
Of all time.
And Bill Pritchard
is advanced. I thought that was kind of a given. There are some surprising selections as well.
Bill Pritchard, very, very open about this. Mm-hmm. Chris Jericho lost, and Bill Pritchard's bracket got busted.
Busted bracket. It was not a fan of it. I thought Jericho would make it through at least the first round, but what are you going to do here?
Well, Break the Rules Down beat Judas, so I didn't think it was looking good for him after that.
Yeah, a lot of people were mad about that too. There's a lot of people just
Which is weird because, guys, once again, not to get political here, but you have the power to vote. And if you just voted,
you have to go rock your vote.
You have to go rock your vote.
No, it's
you have to Fozzy rock your vote.
You have to
your vote. No, we're talking about Jericho. You are Fozzy rocking your vote.
Yes.
You're not Dwayne Johnsoning your vote. Okay? You're Fozzy rocking it.
There's 4 new matchups in the first round. We're going to go through the first round through this week. I'm going to post the link here in the chat. You guys can check it out there as well. And look at these other round matches. 4 new first round matches between theme songs. Cody Rhodes versus the Undisputed Era. Woo! That's a hot one.
That's a Wednesday Night War if I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
I think as long as we're excluding live performances, I think Kingdom will eke it out. But if you factor in the live performances, I gotta tell you that Josiah Williams remix of the Undisputed Era theme over that Downstate Live.
The live one? Dude, I was at AEW Revolution.
Oh, you poor thing.
That did not sound good.
Oh, you poor thing.
It did not sound good. I think they were playing to a track. There was they didn't. Also, it's really hard to be a band in that situation because you're coming on like if something opens and it's very hard to mix the sound in that situation because you're not playing to a point where they can mix your sound as you start to play. So I don't hold that against them, but it didn't sound good because they weren't mixed properly. Josiah Williams rapped Adam Cole to the ring for the Undisputed Era. Boom theme, and I'm leaning towards that one. Though Downstate, My Kingdom is a really cool song. I enjoy it.
Good song. I think it ekes it out because people will forgive the atrocious live performance.
Booker T versus Sting. That's a WCW.
Okay,
match.
What Sting?
I think we're getting Crow Sting. Or I just want to do a man called Sting.
Yeah, Bill. We're all over the place, but Bill Pritchard yesterday put out a great tweet. Just the lyrics of a man called Sting, and then a GIF.
Oh no, this
Sting.
Troy. We're doing the Seeking the Metallic.
Oh, Metallic. Oh well, yeah. That's hard to call it because Seek and Destroy is a banger of a song in general. Like Metallica, at that point, that's banger Metallica right there. But Booker T and the Harlem Heat theme song.
Come on,
that's legacy. I might have to go Booker T.
Go.
Like it's just good. It's just good. Man called Sting, I'd have to say hands down. But if we were doing Seek and Destroy,
We're doing
don't know.
cuts. If you want to talk about a sleeper, Man Called Sting is pretty ridiculous. Like it's pretty over the top. Like, in terms of songs, like I enjoy that one quite a bit.
He's a man. He's a man called Sting, Kev.
He's a man called Sting. Like just the declarative of it. Now here is a hot matchup. I want to know how you guys, people saying WOLFPACK Sting. Better put your ass in a body bag, guys. Watch out. Okay, better watch out. You put you in a body bag. Yeah, and so a lot of people with different takes here. Check it in here. No, it was not WOLFPACK Sting. It's Seek and Destroy Sting. I don't know why we went with that one, but it is certainly a debate.
Metallica's a banger.
This is a hot debate. This is I think maybe the most. Come on, Self High Five, Diamond Dallas Page, the Nirvana spin, right? Against a very, very fun song to sing. Double J, Jeff Jarrett. I'm sorry, with my baby, right. Gotta go with that.
So, Self High Five and Smells Like Teen Spirit in general. Again, another banger. Like, WCW was really, really good at taking actual songs and tweaking them just enough so that, like, DDP's coming out to Nirvana, Raven's coming out to Nirvana, and it's like they get away with it. But With My Baby Tonight is a revolutionary piece of music. I promise you.
And also,
hold on. I'm talking here. Gal Gadot and the other 25 or whatever celebrities just all done that little FaceTime lolly la song to With My Baby Tonight, coronavirus would be expelled. Because With My Baby Tonight is just that powerful of a track. And I'm telling you that is probably going to win. It'll win the whole thing.
Sean Smith, bring up this one. This is not in March Madness.
Natural.
The Dustin Rhodes from early WCW is not a good theme song, but pretty ridiculous. This one though rounds out the other bracket here in round one. Ric Flair, woo, versus I'm an ass man.
Okay. It's sort of like the opposite of what I just talked about with My Baby Tonight. Ass Man is great. And it's a fun song to really sit down and like absorb the lyrics. Because I mean, he loves to love them. He loves to kick them. And I mean, he just goes on and on about asses. And I mean, Ric Flair, if anybody could get down to that, I gotta imagine it would be the Nature Boy Ric Flair. But 2001: A Space Odyssey is such an iconic piece of music overall that I don't know how that doesn't win. Now, Bob Coaster wants to know, where's the Doink theme?
Oh, dude, the Doink theme was so scary. When he come out, the one where he would come out and then he would they would cut it down and he'd be spooky and then he would change the way he talked. I always thought that was cool. So tell us what you think. March Mania, the voting is up now on Twitter and our Instagram feed. I did drop the link for you guys there as well. I believe there's some issue with voting on Facebook where we can't do it there. But also just go to WrestleZone.com or just search WZ March Mania. March Mania. Go give it a look. Really, really fun thing. Just get involved and tell us what you think. You ready for some questions to round out the show?
Hell yeah.
All right, guys, fire up your questions here in the final segment of the show. We always get as interactive as possible, as if we weren't enough. You know what I mean? I do want to thank you guys who've been with us. A lot of different changes in the schedule and when we can get the show, when we can live stream. I'm seeing a lot of people who watch our show when we stream live late in the afternoon, watching it with us here late at night, Eastern time, Pacific time in the UK. Thank you so much. Your support right now. I know a lot of you guys maybe you're quarantined, maybe you're staying at home, maybe you're working from home. And go back in our catalog and check out the podcast feed, WrestleZone Radio. We have sit-down interviews with Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins. We just interviewed Nick Aldis last week. Evan Husney, we just had him on the show yesterday. He is the man behind Dark Side of the Ring. Their season 2 episode debuted last night, a 2-hour episode about the Chris Benoit tragedy. A lot of people with different takes on it. I haven't seen it. Robert, let's cover that tomorrow. But give me the Reader's Digest of it.
Sad. I know that's like no shit, Sherlock, but really, like it's heart-wrenchingly emotional. from covering the toll that Eddie Guerrero's death took on his life to just the gruesome details of the final 72 hours of his life. It'll turn your stomach, and I would suggest that you watch it for the lore of it, but it's hard to watch.
Okay. All right, we'll cover it in more detail on tomorrow's show. Once again, trying to do shows Monday through Thursday, so if you can't watch it live, especially with a different schedule, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, WrestleZone Radio, and check out the show on Facebook. Watch whenever you want. We're doing watch parties. These have been really fun, using this new feature on Facebook where I can restream the show in real time and play classic matches. So I've been enjoying that. Today we streamed yesterday's episode with a bunch of classic matches. Robert, something coming in here?
Yeah, I got something coming in here. Comment from Matt Pestle that wants to know. Well, I wrestle Pee Wee Herman at WrestleMania. No, I don't know Paul Rubens, the man. First of all, I wouldn't want to touch Pee Wee Herman at any point in my life, but during this scary time, definitely not touching Pee Wee Herman. But you, Matt. You can keep living in your playhouse of wacky ideas.
Big A Dubs, Anna Williams texting saying, glad that Kevin and Robert bring in the WZD some sense of normalcy in this craziness. Thank you guys. You know what? Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. We're working really, really hard at WrestleZone, by the way. And when we're not doing these streams, Robert has worked at other websites. He's with Fightful as well. We're going through a lot of different things here. We're working around the clock and to kind of provide you guys more content as much as we can. A big thank you to Tyler Treese, Bill Pritchard, Dominic D'Angelo, Andrew Ravens, Alex Santamaria, everybody working at WrestleZone as well. We're really trying to give you guys as much as we can because this is also WrestleMania season, but it's definitely a very different WrestleMania season. So thank you guys for sticking with the website. Hopefully you guys make it your homepage.
We were supposed to get War Games tonight. It's so wild. We're not doing anything we thought we were going to do. This whole thing has just encompassed our lives.
And I know it's probably affecting all you guys. I know if you have anyone that works in the restaurant industry, the bar industry, a lot of those major states in the United States and even in Europe are affected by that. And I want everyone to hang in there and stay strong and let's get through this thing. I'm concerned as well, as we all are, about the impact of this. But let's just watch wrestling and have a good time. That's why you guys are watching the show. We're talking about, we're geeking out on it. And if you know someone who's feeling the same way and they're really anxious and they're really worried, maybe, fire off some wrestling links for them. And maybe one of those links you can send off to somebody, maybe calm them down. Just, get your mind off of it. That's what we want to do. We want it to be fun. We'll tell you about what's going on and how it impacts the world of wrestling, but we're here to have you guys have fun and get away from all that. So let's get into some questions. All right, buddy?
All right, let's do it.
Thank you, Nesha. I see you as well. You see a lot of people checking this out here. Questions coming in here. I want to know this one. Here we go. Is Velveteen Dream hurt? He seems to move awkward and weird since he came back. I just watched an old match of him, and he wasn't awkward. He wasn't awkward at all. Do we know the severity of the injury that put him on the show?
He had a back injury, which literally kept him out. Beyond the Rumble, beyond Survivor Series even. So he's probably a little hurt, but maybe it's just finding your rhythm.
Other people with different takes on theme songs. People texting us that about March Mania and different things like that. More questions. I'm trying to keep up with them here. People saying, Brandon Lemaire saying, Stone Cold Steve Austin had the best theme song when he used to use
Disturbed's Shattered Glass theme. I like it. It's as far as the theme songs that they remixed during the time, that's one of the better ones. And nothing beats the traditional I Don't Do What You Tell Me. That's the best theme song. James Espanto Fernando Tagoal wants to know who had the better physique, Bobby Roode or Rick Rude? Now, Bobby Roode has a glorious physique.
Yes.
But I think we can all agree that Rick Rude just had the physique of a god.
Yeah. He was to be clear, he was a guy that all the men wanted to be and all the women wanted to be with. So I could only just show it that way. And then I get up and I do this.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Kevin, I'm gonna stop you right there
Wiggle.
because you're even wearing a hoodie, and I can still see what's going on. Actually, wow, we can really see what's going on there for a second.
Come on, wiggle, wiggle.
We
Come
got
on,
a little
Robert.
Kevin
You gotta give these
Gutsy.
people some titillation. Look at that. Yeah? Huh? Who's the ass man now?
I like that you're advertising on the back of your hoodie as you shake your ass. That is a sight.
Gotta sell the gimmick, baby. Gotta sell the gimmick. All right, here we go.
Oh yeah.
This is the question from Nesha. We do have some WWE superstars who are taking on the quarantine commitment here, and some people expect the crew around WrestleMania to do this as well. So we know that Dana Brooke has reportedly gone into a 14-day quarantine along with Rey Mysterio. Now, that does not mean that they are experiencing any symptoms. They have not declared anyone. No one in the WWE has reportedly been diagnosed with COVID-19. Also that's not, to be clear, don't let any misinformation run out there. Wade Keller from the Pro Wrestling Torch reporting today on his show that he is aware of a third superstar who is entering a 14-day quarantine, just because, out of caution. But he said, just out of respect for that person, he wouldn't say who they were.
Well, he did say that it wasn't somebody on the WrestleMania card. It could be a litany of people. I'm not gonna throw names out there. Dana and Mysterio were reported by Meltzer, and Dana was in fact booked for Mania, and she has since been removed from the match. Mysterio looked like he was slotted to go up against Andrade, and now they're just fighting the Street Profits, he and Angel Garza. It's scary because Rey, if he is in quarantine, was very physical with Andrade, which means he was in the arena with Zelina, Jerry Lawler, like all these things. And I don't want to begin to speculate, but it's a reality we could be looking at.
Yeah. So what do you think? Does WWE, like a lot of other potential leagues, do they go into an off season after WrestleMania? Do they put things on pause?
If AEW isn't, then I don't think they do either.
But
perhaps a good key to that. Sports Illustrated reported early or yesterday morning that Hunter would be on NXT to reveal all these matches for TakeOver that are going to take place over the next few weeks, and he didn't. He simply just said it was supposed to start next week, and they simply said in 2 weeks Gargano will fight Ciampa. Right now, that's all we know.
Yeah.
I think that is telling regarding where they're at in the state of what they want to do.
It adds a little bit more question mark to it. I don't think it's a particularly bad thing. Things are as challenging and difficult for them as it is. But I can see a period where WWE says, listen, for 2 weeks, we're just going to give you best stuff content. We're going to have to do that. And that could happen after WrestleMania.
We won't know until we know.
We won't know until we know, but I see it as speculation. If they're holding off on that and they want to do that in April after WrestleMania or around that time, I could see something like that. Because you just
It's going to be after, actually.
What?
It's going to be after.
Yeah, and it lines up that way in terms of what they've taped. Raw and SmackDown are taped next week. They're already in the can. They have them there.
Florida does have. Hold on, I want to just jump in on this one. We have a comment here from Les Allier that says Florida does not have a stay-at-home order. They have stay-at-home orders. The governor is trying to avoid a full-on shutdown completely. Right now, Orange County, Florida, and Tampa, as of later on tonight, will have stay-at-home orders. So that is a recent update.
Hey, you can't get people off the beach. The beach comes to you. You know what I mean? These guns got to get out, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Sun's out, guns out. You know what I mean?
Dude,
that has a whole different meaning in Florida, but never mind.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it does. Yeah, it definitely does. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Really, really appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a good time, staying safe with your family, and watching a bunch of different wrestling. If you're watching this on demand, tell us what wrestling you're watching. I saw a question here. People, James texting and saying, what's the best pro wrestling movie as we sign off here, Robert? What is your favorite
It's
movie?
Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble? Oh, come on, Robert.
It's so bad, it's good.
Is it?
Because No Holds Barred is cheeky. It's good 80s cheese. Like, And like there's other the wrestler. Look, I liked
Robert. What's that smell?
Dookie.
Oh, Robert, I can't kiss you on the lips. It's against the rules, but mwah, mwah. I'm just sending you kisses for that.
It's so see, Kevin and I, we were ahead of the curve.
Yes.
We were practicing social distancing far before it was a mandate.
We were ahead of this, baby.
We just practiced all the rules.
Yeah.
We set the rules.
Darn right. And then we break them.
And then that's right. Because we're still rebel. We follow the rules, but we're still rebels.
Yes. We're good boys, but when we want to be bad boys, we're bad boys.
That's bad with two Ds.
We're bad boys. We tell our moms we're good boys. That's what we do.
That's right.
Good bad boys. That's what we are. That's our tag team name, the Good Bad Boys. So in terms of wrestling movies, No Holds Barred is just ridiculous. In terms of like so bad they're good, I would go with No Holds Barred over Ready to Rumble every time. I really enjoy The Wrestler. If you haven't seen The Wrestler, it has its funny moments. It is a sad movie. It does have the sad wrestler on the decline story. But Mickey Rourke is so good in this and plays the part so well. And the wrestling in the movie is very, very good. This is a movie that nearly had an Oscar buzz around it about 10 years.
I mean, it's a good film. My issues with it are it really glorifies that whole, oh man, I gotta get that pop. I'm addicted to that pop.
Yeah.
Like which was a real thing in wrestling for a while, but I think over time the stigma might be changing. Because those 80s guys really were like that.
If you haven't seen it on Netflix, Beyond the Mat. I think Beyond the Mat is like mandatory viewing. It is a behind the scenes complete expose of WWE. They don't film WCW, but they film WWE and ECW and a handful of independent guys. So guys that are trying to make their way into WWE. And this is in the peak of Attitude Era. This is like in the middle of wrestling just going through the roof. And you get to see very, very jarring footage backstage around the ring of Mick Foley's family when he went through the infamous I Quit match where he takes 11 chair shots in the head. It's very jarring. And then Wrestling with Shadows you should watch. And that's a really great documentary that kind of shows, it literally is documenting the Montreal Screwjob in real time. And how that happened and the development to it. These are stories you may have heard. If you haven't seen these movies and you simply heard about them, you're a younger fan, these are mandatory. I think you have to go see these. These are just like, you need to see these movies. They're well worth seeing. So I would definitely go and suggest that. And if you haven't watched Glow, I think Glow is great.
Glow is great. Glow, I think, has a great take on it. I would throw out, if you're just talking documentaries, Forever Hardcore, the ECW documentary, History and Tradition, the NWA documentary, which you can get at highspots.com. They have a $9.99 service. If you're bored and you need it, they got a lot of good documentaries. For me, documentaries are where it's at. I like Ready to Rumble because I like David Arquette yelling, "Wrestling's not fake!" And it's just like, we've all been there. We've all been there. I don't care what you say.
Yes.
We're all right there.
The worst word you can say to a wrestling fan is fake.
But Kevin, when I'm lost, I just look down at my wrist and I ask myself, what would King do? And my God, Jimmy King just lights the way.
You're ridiculous. You're absolutely ridiculous. you looking off at distance. We're such dorks. We're such good bad boys. We're such good
bad boys.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, we will be back tomorrow, probably late night once again. Join us. Make sure you like the page and follow it, so then you get the notifications. You know exactly when we go live. We're gonna try to go live between 9 Central and 9:30, depending on when I can get the studio and all that good stuff. Get the wipes in here, all that fun things. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Pass it on. If you watch the show and you enjoy it, all you have to do is pass it on. You didn't watch the whole show? It's available as a podcast, WrestleZone Radio, on all your podcast apps of choice. Robert, in these challenging, tiring times, what shall we do?
Eat a lot of food, first of all.
Okay.
You gotta eat. You gotta, guys, eat, stay hydrated. Hygiene, wash your hands. I know you're sick of hearing it. Wash your hands. Lysol everything. And when you're done, making sure that you're fed and that you're good, then you sit down.
And you're bad. Good and bad.
Good and bad, because we're good bad boys here in the zone. And when you're done with all that,
that's our t-shirt. Good bad boys.
When you're done with all that, then you sit on the couch and you pick your favorite streaming service and you do this one thing. You enjoy wrestling.